What makes this bass line so iconic that 10 million people have listened to it this summer? These are 3 things you should think about before writing your next bass line. And there's a reason I'm using this pasta track as the main example. It's such a stripped down house track, like it's really just drums, a bass line, and one main synth. And to make such a simple track so popular is really hard. Like you have to absolutely nail the songwriting and the overall vibe of the track. And the first thing that legendary bass lines do is they don't overcomplicate the rhythm. Let's reverse engineer this bass line a little bit. If I take out the filler notes, you can start to hear the main rhythm. But I can make the rhythm even more clear if I put every note in the key of the track and then layer that with a percussion hit. That's the basic rhythm of this track. And I think when you listen to some iconic bass lines, like some Daft Punk tracks, you'll usually find that the main rhythm is pretty simple. If you make the rhythm too complicated, it makes it hard to get into the groove. So I think this is actually a good test. Take your bass line and boil it down to its simplest rhythm with a percussion hit. It's an easy way to tell if you have a cohesive rhythm or not. A bass line is supposed to get you to nod your head up and down and feel the rhythm, so make sure not to overcomplicate it. But obviously we don't want to make a lifeless, boring bass line, so the second thing we can do is use filler notes to add groove and smooth out transitions. Let's just look at the first bar of this bass line. Just adding a little 16th note down there is going to give it a lot more groove. And the key is to think like an actual bass player would. Like let's say you're playing the bass and you want to jump from this high A down to this F sharp. Instead of making that huge jump, you could use some transition notes to walk down the scale and make that transition a little smoother. That's also what he's done between this B and this C sharp. Just use a couple notes to walk the bass line up to that higher note. That's just something that a real bass player would do. So when you have your main rhythm down, all the filler notes are really what gets your bass line to groove and gets the transitions working. Now the third thing you can do to make a memorable bass line is to make it a circle. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's take this Daft Punk track as an example. Around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world. I've actually just come out with a serum pack that has 50 new bass sounds, and it comes with a free course that shows you how to reverse engineer legendary bass lines like this Daft Punk one, and also this Fisher track.
Take it off. Slow, steady, undress.
You can also hit try for free on my website if you want to test out a few of the sounds before paying for anything. That way you can know they're high quality. Just go to bigzsounds.com and look for the Pro Bass Pack. Anyway, what do I mean by making your bass line a circle? So the last note in this Daft Punk bass line is really an E. Then it walks back down the scale where it wants to land back on the first note of the bass line, which is this A. Having that melodic bridge that connects the last note back to the first note creates this really satisfying loop where you could just listen to these 4 bars over and over and over again. And the pasta track actually does something pretty similar. It walks the bass line up from this F sharp to this B, then to the C sharp, and then it walks it back down to the F sharp so it comes full circle. So this is what the 4th bar sounds like, and this is what the 1st bar sounds like. They're actually the exact same. So when you're writing your bass line, if there's anything you can do to make it come full circle, linking the end of it back to the beginning of it with a smooth transition, then if you can do that properly, it'll make a bass line that you just want to keep listening to over and over again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you want 50 new bass sounds along with a free course on how to write great bass lines, then go check out my new Pro Bass Pack at bigzsounds.com. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.